don't see
Yes,
it
just
yet.
went live.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Oh, I love that. Gotcha. Just a reminder that whatever you're sharing on stream, you also share with us. Like if you want to share your desktop, normally that's what somebody does. They share their desktop so we can see what you're seeing. Because if you're playing a video on stream, we need to be able to see it too.
All right.
Okay. I don't know, dude. I definitely just saw us pop up.
Sorry.
Sorry, I've never been the tech guy, so I don't know.
Maybe.
If we have to do a test live, we have to do a test live to see what happens. But
yeah, and it'll be midway through the stream at that point, so we can take a quick 5-minute intermission break.
That's a great way to handle that.
We've got an intermission slide, right?
Put the fuck war, yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
So if it messes up, we'll just have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind me like throwing my arms up and stuff. I've got to like host, so I have to turn on my like, I'm alive and super excited to be here, like energy, you know?
Fill up the room. There's like literal scientific research that says if you stretch yourself out, you literally have more confidence. So
it's a real thing.
No idea.
I've been trying that shit.
What do you mean by lock? I'm not sure. I do know what you're saying.
Yes, I think so, but I don't know how to do it.
Can do it in PowerPoint.
Technical, yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, let's.
We're switched over.
All right, hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Mash. I'm gonna be your host for the stream tonight. All right, this is Veterans for Peace. We're doing our Memorial Day stream. Since we've got pretty extensive panel, I want to go around and have everyone introduce themselves. Like I said, my friends call me Mash. I'm an 8-year veteran of the Army and the IC and turned activist, a member of Veterans for Peace, and I'm super involved with VFP's Gamers for Peace initiative. That's pretty much everything. I'm going to pass it off to my co-host and stream tech for the evening, Alex.
Hey everyone, my name is Alex. I am a VFP member and a Gamers for Peace member. I have been in the U.S. Army for 5 years or so and active in the DSA, Veterans Working Group, as well as About Face. So looking forward to being able to talk to everyone. Excited. I will pass it straight to my right to Pacifist War Vet.
Hello, my name is Jules. I also go by Pacifist War Vet on Discord and Twitch. I am a veteran of the United States Air Force. I am the member coordinator on staff for Veterans for Peace. I've been writing poetry, music, and making art generally against war for about a decade. And I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. I'm going to pass it to Krabby.
Hi, everyone. My name is Krabby. I am an ally for Game for Peace, and I am an anti-war activist. And I will pass it on to Garrett.
I am Garrett or Haas. I am also an ally, much like Krabby, and have been an anti-war activist for about 8 years now. I had aspirations to go into the Air Force when I was in high school. Didn't quite have the medical conditions ready for it. But hey, might have turned out for the best. And I will pass it on to Poison.
Hello, everyone. My name is Poisson Mushroom. I am a veteran of the United States Army. I did 7 years from 2014 until I just got back out in March. I got out as a conscientious objector, which we'll go more into that later. Glad to be here and have this great discussion on Memorial Day with everybody. And is there anybody else who needs to go? I don't think so.
No, that's everyone.
That's everybody. All right, so we're talking about the origins of Memorial Day a little bit to start here. We're just gonna dig into things. I'm gonna read a short paragraph about how it started, and then I think Haas had some stuff he wanted to add about the beginnings of Memorial Day. But let me start off. In 1868, General John Logan, who was the leader of the Grand Army of the Republic, big fancy name, but the Grand Army of the Republic was just sorry, my cat's getting into stuff, was a post-Civil War veterans organization. They were like the veterans advocacy group in America after the Civil War. And he was the commander-in-chief of them. He called for a decoration day to be held nationwide. And in that year, memorial events were held at over 183 cemeteries in 27 states. That's sort of recognized as like the beginning of what we know as like the National Memorial Day. There were a lot of memorial services that went on before that, and there's a lot of conflicting history about who started it. It wasn't until 100 years later in 1968 that Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act, which established Memorial Day as the last Monday in May in order to create a 3-day weekend for federal employees. The same law also declared Memorial Day a federal holiday. So that's when Memorial Day became an actual active holiday. It wasn't until 100 years after it had been kind of a community-driven effort by veterans primarily. Haas, you had something you wanted to add about the origins of Memorial Day, and I want to make space for that.
Yeah. So 25 places claim to have originated the holiday. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs recognizes. There are also a lot of myths behind places that say they do, but there's no substantiating evidence. And something that I found online, actually on the History Channel, and I'll drop in a link to the article, is that a professor at Yale University named David Blight, while researching for a Civil War book, found that the earliest recorded celebration of or remembrance of soldiers fallen from the Civil War, where the tradition started, was actually a month after the fall of the Confederacy in Charleston, South Carolina, by very recently freed black slaves. The Union soldiers were buried in a mass grave when the army passed through, and these freed slaves had actually exhumed the bodies and gave them respectful burials in the racetrack and performed a parade around it in their honor and thanks. And it was interesting to see that that wasn't one of the first things on Veterans Affairs, but I will post that so everyone knows what I'm talking about.
I'm a little curious about that. When I was reading through the Veterans Affairs website, they mentioned that Memorial Day is associated with the Civil War, but it was a commemoration of fallen Confederate soldiers.
Yeah, so it's a commemoration from all sides, both Confederate and Union, but the Daughters of the Confederacy really pushed that it was about Confederate soldiers.
Interesting.
As the Daughters of the Confederacy oft do.
Yeah, the same group behind the reasons we have Confederate monuments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you don't know, Daughters of the Confederacy are a problem and have been a problem for a long time.
So I'm in full support of from freed black Americans memorializing the fallen Union soldiers. I have a hard time getting behind anyone who's trying to memorialize Confederate soldiers. And I don't think that's a particularly spicy take among this group. So.
That's not a real hot take.
Yeah.
So Memorial Day, I'm just going to move on. If anybody else has anything to say about the origins, anybody else got any hot history knowledge they want to drop on us?
Are we moving on to when it was actually like put up as a federal holiday?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I did talk about in '68 when it became a proper federal holiday.
Yeah, it was
Proper.
Lyndon Johnson. I think it was either 66 or 68. And if you're at all aware of American
68.
history, you know exactly what that timeline coincides with. Probably
Oh, yeah.
flagging support for the Vietnam War. And in the same way that we used to hand out medals of honor during the Spanish-American War to try to convince the American populace that this was a just cause worth fighting for, I can very much imagine that that same calculus went into the decision to make Memorial Day a federal holiday around that time, specifically when support for the Vietnam War is flagging. There's a growing anti-war movement. It seems a very cynical political decision from my perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall in the meeting room when they made that decision, because I mean, like you said, with that time period, it's almost guaranteed that it was a virtue signal move by the government to try and drum up some good old patriotism.
Yeah, so
This has been
Memorial Day
Okay,
has
go ahead.
not a great history. Like there's some good in there, but a lot of it's been heavily politicized, both by the Daughters of the Confederacy plus the pro-war movement for Vietnam. It's kind of got like a messy background, and I think we should all be very cognizant of that as we're not celebrating, but memorializing those who have fallen, and keep in mind that it's always been political from the very start, and it's even more so nowadays. So
Yeah, everybody's got an agenda, right? Even from its early origins, this has been a problem, right? Like back in 1913, I found some quotes off the history of Memorial Day talking about how, let me read this to you, that the younger generations had a tendency to forget the purpose of Memorial Day and make it a day for games, races, and revelry instead of a day of memory and tears. And there were multiple situations throughout history where veterans organizations tried to keep the attention of Memorial Day focused on like a solemn remembrance, like grave cleanings, things of that nature. But in true American fashion, it very quickly got turned into red, white, and blue, blind patriotism.
hot dogs and barbecues and American pie.
Exactly. And it just became another day.
For all of the people who are still active duty, it keeps them thinking, yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm doing the good things. So, if you can keep the war fighter fighting, you can keep the war going, If you let the war fighter start to think, maybe this isn't a good idea, the war ends. So,
and keeping people at home thinking the same thing. Because you need mom and dad and brother and sister to be seeing Memorial Day parades and then going like, oh gosh, thanks for fighting for my freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Pacifist war vet. Thanks for going out there and just saving the American way.
Yeah. One of the big things that really spurred that 1913 speech was in 1911, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway car race, later named the Indy 500, took place on Memorial Day in 1911 and outraged a lot of vets.
So also don't forget capitalism.
Yeah.
Let's make some fucking money on this patriotism too,
Yep.
Always. That is patriotism, right? What's more American than capitalizing on people's emotions to sell
700
junk?
left turns.
Funny stuff. So, first little open-ended bit of discussion for this topic then. What's an example you've seen of Memorial Day being treated like that?
Treated the right way or treated the wrong way?
Treated the wrong way. What's an
okay.
example of a time you've seen Memorial Day just like used to drum up the war machine or sell cheap shit?
Yeah, I definitely see it a lot. I live in San Antonio, Texas, which has named itself Military USA. It is the home of USAA, the bank. And so things like that are very, very heavy in advertisements on the radio, commercials on local TV. There's a lot of, we care about our veterans. You should give us your money instead of that other company that isn't doing a commercial about how they love veterans. And it has nothing to do with fucking anything.
I remember seeing Memorial Day savings for like mattress stores and
Oh God.
like
I
local
went to a
car
Cons
dealerships.
yesterday, and
Yeah.
they had
Dodge Chargers.
Memorial Day discounts.
Yeah, every single they'd
everywhere.
have commercials. Every car dealership would have commercials for months leading up to Memorial Day, with like the red, white, and blue waving in the background saying, "Come get us for your Memorial Day savings and 0% APR," and just start bleeding at your
Yeah.
eyeballs every time you have to watch one of them.
So this might be upsetting to some, but to the ridiculousness of how what you're saying, War Puppy, is on Friday I do IT consulting, and my manager was like, "Oh, we're clients are off Monday, so you don't need to work. They're not working," which is crazy because I guess everyone at this company needs to go buy a new TV because I haven't seen anyone else give everyone off for Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's basically
Yep.
just turned into the American tradition of following capital. Use it as an opportunity to make a quick buck. Use it as an opportunity to do stump speeches for whatever like local congressman is going on. I remember my childhood growing up and being like taken to Memorial Day services, and they usually have like a solemn remembrance, the minute of silence and everything for fallen veterans, and then some local congressman or a city councilor or something like that would go stand up in front of everyone, talk a little bit about how much he appreciated veterans and their sacrifice for our country, and then say something along the lines of, "Make sure you vote for me in the upcoming election," or something like that.
It becomes an opportunity to flag to